Hello, people. Hey, listen, I got into this story. I was going to do a story about this informant named Michael Cookie DiOrso. Very interesting story, but as I started reading about the story, it got more and more interesting. So it's kind of back to the mob stories for me. I'm going to keep my promise here and put out good product. And, well, I hope it's good product to you people. But I want to talk about this Michael Cookie DiOrso because recently he had a fight with Larry Mazza. Now, as everybody knows, Larry Mazza is a martial arts expert, but this guy Durso has an incredible story. But during this meeting with Mazza, Mazza got loud with him. So Durso punched him in the face, and from what they say is Mazza went flying backwards. Durso got on top of him and bloodied him up. Mazza was having trouble breathing, and then he offered Mazza a free shot at his face. Mazza didn't take it. Basically, got up and he walked away from this guy. And Larry Mazza is a pretty tough guy. You know, granted, the guy threw a punch, probably caught Mazza first, and then he was also like 8 years younger than Mazza. Also, DiOrso was. But then when I got into this DiOrso guy, the guy is like he was also an informant. So he was there with Mazza. He was an informant. From what I understand, John A. Light was there. There were a bunch of informants here. But DiOrso's being an informant is totally different than most people because he was kind of pushed into it. And the reason he was pushed into it is because he was shot in the back of the head at a social club. And basically what he was a guy from Brooklyn, and he was a associate of the Genovese family. Originally, he started off in crime because when he was a Pace University student in 1988, he got involved with another guy and he got arrested with stolen check scam, and it was over a $500,000, and it cost 50 tellers and 20 banks their jobs. I mean, because they let this happen. He was described as a very tough guy, and he was an up and coming associate in the family. And he was eventually going to be made because a lot of people liked him. A matter of fact, let me see. I'm going to pull up these pictures right here just so I can give you an idea of who these people were. Okay. So Salvatore Aparo, he took a liking, Sammy Meatballs, as he was known. He took a liking to this D'Urso guy, and he treated him better than his son, who was Vinny Aparo. He's the son of Sammy Meatballs, and they said that he treated him better than he treated his own son. So this was a very tough thing because it all got out of control. Okay, so here we are. We have these guys, and they're loan sharking. Now, let me get back to this right here. Okay, so they're loan sharking. And on the night of in November 1994, what happens is D'Urso goes to the San Giuseppe Social Club in Brooklyn, the Williamsburg part of Brooklyn, and he goes there with a friend of his, and this friend of his is also a loan shark partner with him, and they basically lent out a bunch of money uh, to this one guy, and there were two shooters, Anthony Bruno and Giacomo John Ambricio or Ambrico. Uh, they basically came into the club and they were standing behind. These guys were sitting down playing cards in the social club, and they were standing behind these guys. Anthony Bruno shot D'Urso behind the ear in the head, a kill shot. And then on top of that, his partner that was with him also got killed, Lombardo. Lombardi was his name, I'm sorry. And he got killed, Sabatino Lombardi. And that was his partner. And the reason they wind up getting killed, it was turned out that Carmine Polito owed loan sharking money to D'Urso and Lombardi. And what happened is this guy figured he can get around paying his money by killing these guys. And that's not even where the betrayal started. You always hear how reliable, how solid the Genovese family was and stuff. But when it came to this whole shooting, they weren't reliable because what happened is after these shootings were done, uh, Bruno was scared. One of the shooters, Bruno, very scared. Anthony Bruno and Gianco Ambricio, he was scared too. So he went to people and started asking favors. So they didn't expect it, but DiOrso, despite being shot behind the ear in the head, lived, and the bullet didn't hit any vital parts of his brain. So he wanted revenge, and he was furious because he was real close with this guy, with Lombardi, who died, and he wanted revenge. And plus, he got shot in the ear, and so he was ordered not to take revenge. And this really bothered him because he wanted to get his revenge back on these guys. It didn't look good on the streets that these guys were all known. People pretty much knew who did the shooting. And they were just walking around and there was nothing being done. So at this point, they're deciding what to do here. And let me just show you. This is a picture of Ambricio right here. This is the guy that did the shooting. He was one of the shooters, along with Anthony Bruno. That's Giacomo Ambricio. They called him John on the street. Okay, so what happened is this guy, Frank Farby Serpico, okay, he has the cop name, but they called him Farby on the streets. And he was the head of the family, the Genovese family, and he gave a strict order. No one was going to be touched. But what happened is he couldn't handle it, DiOrso. He wanted revenge. And he made a failed attempt at these guys. And he made a failed attempt. And after he made this failed attempt, basically what happened is Salvatore Paro, Sammy Meatballs, who was very close to DiOrso, told DiOrso, if I call you in, don't come in. Because that meant that he was going to be dead. Actually what happened is Farby Serpico basically did want him dead for seeking revenge. So he's sitting here. He knows that they want to bring him in, that they want to kill him, basically. So the word's on the street. He has a contract on him. He knows he's a dead man. So what does he do? He goes to the feds for protection. Now, listen, people can say ratting and stuff, but think about it. This guy wants revenge for a man that killed his very close person to him, shot him behind the ear, and he's being told because of these guys owing other money to other loan sharks not to kill him. Even though that these people disrespected a social club, a Genovese social club, walked in and shot this guy behind the ear and killed his buddy. Sounds pretty crummy to me. It sounds more about money than anything and knowing the right people. And this guy did know the right people, and this is why they were protecting him. So, okay, let me get it. Okay, so let's see right here. I'm sorry. Okay, so he got probation. Probation. What the fuck am I saying? Okay, DiOrso's testimony basically helped the feds convict more than 70 mobsters and associates, including Vincent the Chin Gianti, as well as the current Genovese family boss, Barney Bellomo, because of his cooperation. But see, this isn't where the story ends. This guy's a fascinating character, this DiOrso. First of all, it's very hard to find a picture of him. If somebody could find a picture of him, please, send it to me. Because I looked everywhere for a picture of this guy. The feds pretty much took this guy totally off the market where he can't be found. And he has a new identity now. But it's amazing, though, even though he has a new identity, he still showed up at this thing where he had to fight with Mazza. And after taking a bullet behind the ear and living, I don't think you're going to be scared of too much. So here's what happened, though. this doesn't end here. So this guy, he winds up getting 5 years probation after he got all these people convicted, including uh, Vincent Gianti. So what happened is it gets back to DiOrso that there's a they're putting a contract out to kill him, and they're looking for his family, even though he's in federal protection. So what does this guy do? He sends a letter to the New York Post, and eventually it got to Capisci, and became part of an article. But basically, the letter said it warned anybody that comes after me better not bring a knife, they better not bring a bat, they better bring a gun. He basically was telling them, if you're going to come get me, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to be that easy to kill, even if you find me. And he's out there now. He's out there, if you're out there and you're running around with John A. Light and you're running around with Larry Mazza, you don't know. These guys are snitches. How do you know they're not going to snitch you out and tell somebody where you are? And these people are still active that he put away, and some of them are in prison, some of them out in the street, and they're very active. The Genovese family still has power. And so you got this guy right here, and they want him dead. And he's telling them, come get me. He doesn't care. He's just warning them, come get me. But it just goes to show you, we talk about snitching and ratting all the time, especially in this genre. When does a person have the right to rat? If you have a family that you're a soldier in and you're well respected by the higher ups, and over somebody owing money, they tell you not to revenge what he did. He shot you in the head. He shot your buddy and killed him. They did it they did it in a place that you're not supposed to do stuff like that. And not only that, they were playing cards, and these guys were lurking in the club and standing behind them and shot him right in the head, right in the social club. I mean, it was an ugly, brutal killing. These men eventually went to prison because one of the Anthony Bruno wind up ratting out everybody that did it, including the driver. There were 3 guys involved altogether. So they all got in trouble. They're all in prison now, and they're probably going to be there for the rest of their life. If you want to, I'll put a link underneath this story to the story that was in the New York Post, which was a very good story, and also of the case that was filed by the government against the shooters, because they got ratted on. And also, not only did they get ratted on by Bruno, one of the shooters. Isn't it amazing? These guys, like this guy Bruno, he's one of the shooters. They go into this club to murder these 2 men, and not even for a good reason, because somebody didn't want to pay back Shylock money. And then the guy, that guy is a snitch, because he ratted that whole crew out for doing that hit. That's what you call just a cowardly snitch. But, this is one of these times. Is DiOrso really a snitch? His family did not defend him when he needed it most. And when you have somebody that wants to defend you, and he can't because he's not so you got Sammy Meatballs Aparo that's telling him, if we call for you, that means we're going to kill you. And Sammy Meatballs Aparo is a higher up. He's one of the highest guys in the family. Not even him, the boss over him, with his greed, decides that he wants to kill this guy. So Michael Cookie DiOrso, a very fascinating guy. You got to give him his credit. He knocked down Mazza, beat Mazza up, and Mazza walked away and took his beating like a man. But then when I researched into this DiOrso guy, and you find out what happened to him, it's just an incredible story, people. And I just wanted to share that story with you. I hope you like it. I'll be doing more stories like this. And it's like I said, I'll put some links down here. Read up on this guy, read up on the story. It's very interesting, people. Uh, Capisci covered a couple parts. He covered Mazza uh, getting beat up. And first of all, I don't call it beat up. It's basically the guy hit him first. What they said is Mazza got loud with him. The guy cracked Mazza and then jumped on top of him. And, you know, any man that gets hit first and goes down, it doesn't matter what kind of experience they have in martial arts when you're 60 years old and you're trying to fight back a guy that's 10 years younger than you, and he's on top of you. Not only is he on top of you, he's a lunatic. He's known to be a tough street guy. So that's the difference. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you, and I want to talk to you about a couple other things before I go. Okay. You know, I meant very seriously that I'm staying out of this fray from now on because of the ugliness that's going on. You know, I got very sick, and you got a lot of heartless people. And last night, and we don't have to say who because we know the only person that would do this made the comment, "I wish he died." And only one person wishes death on other content makers. This is why I do not want to be dragged in these arguments no more. You can't win, people. You can't win when you go at people. You know, everybody has different sides here and stuff. And I feel so much better. I'm starting to get my color back. I was white as a ghost for like 3-4 days. I didn't feel good. And then I went on a trip through a canyon, and then just some pictures that, if you want to see them, they're right on my community page of my trip through this canyon, the second biggest canyon in the United States. Got some fresh air, did a lot of thinking. And this is what I want to do. I'm going to tell you stories like this. I got a couple stories lined up for next week. One of them, the next one coming up, I'm really looking forward to doing. And so tell me what you think of this story, please. Tell me what you think I did wrong. If I made any mistakes, let me know. But I hope you liked everything. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm almost at 4,000. I like to get there sooner than later. So that's up to you guys. But if you think that this is a good story, I'm going to be giving out more stories like this. Take care, everybody. Thank you.